had that 2 years later along with the 2-year reunion. And as part of all of the festivities, we had a keynote speaker from a professor on campus who his area of study is happiness. Leadership and happiness is the class that he teaches. So he gave an address to those who were back for the reunion. And this particular individual is Catholic and very faithful. But he was speaking to a secular audience in a secular setting. But what I found so in the purpose of his talk was how to find happiness in your career. A lot of graduates had left business school, had pursued careers and titles and tracks in different companies that were very demanding. But based on the surveys that the school puts out, often students don't ultimately find happiness. And so his talk was intended to try to help people to find happiness. And I found it really interesting that his talk could have been given in general conference. It was full of gospel principles with a focus on faith, family, meaningful work. And it really just hit me how lucky we are in the gospel to know what actually brings happiness. We're so blessed. And especially in this world that becomes increasingly secular with the decline of religiosity, it is so important for us to be alive in the Word, to remember what really brings happiness now and eternally. I'm so grateful that I have this knowledge that I get to be here today. I should say that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Hi, I became a Christian in 2017 when I learned the Bible was true. I believe the Bible literally. I believe every word of the King James Bible. And once I learned that it was true, then I became a believer. And so I think that's one of the biggest roadblocks to most other people believing the Bible is that they don't know that it's true. So there's actually a lot of scientific detail and proof that proves the Bible to be true. So we have an obligation as believers to try to witness to people, to bring people to the light of the Lord by telling them that the Bible is actually true from Genesis to Revelation. And it's a literal book, I believe it literally because there's too many verses that explain too clearly how the Bible is in fact true, and there's so many prophecies. So I believe we have an obligation as believers to try to witness to the world and share the gospel with people because life is so precious and we have such a small window of time to give the word of truth to the world. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
My name is Ashley Sebesta, and I just want to bear testimony of God and His ability to give us good gifts. I've been amazed at what those gifts end up being and what they've been in my life and in the lives of people I've seen. I think sometimes gifts end up being maybe a gift of patience, or maybe a gift of tolerance, or maybe a gift from a hard-earned trial, or other things. And then sometimes they're the things that we wanted and wished for that God gives us, but He gives them to us in beautiful ways. I'm just grateful for a Lord who knows us so well and knows how to give such good gifts. I also want to bear testimony of the relief that comes through trusting God. As today's fast Sunday, and I wasn't able to fast from food. I was trying to think what I could fast from, and the thing that came to mind was fasting from some of my anxieties. I think sometimes we hold on tight to our anxieties and our worries and our fears, and God has commanded us to trust Him and to not fear. And so that's something I've tried to do, and it's sometimes harder than I think it is, but I am so grateful that a God who loves us and knows us so well is able to give us the best gifts, and we can trust Him with our whole heart. And even if things are hard, and even if we go through hard times, He still knows. He still loves us, and He will give us what we need. Sometimes we just have to wait it out and trust Him. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just always in awe of the faith and the strength that our word and those who deserve our word showcase. So thank you so much for sharing those testimonies with us today. We'll end by singing hymn number 108, The Shepherd, after which our benediction will be given by